Forever is composed of no's. What if your entire universe was contained within four walls? What if the grandest adventures weren't found by going out into the world, but by going in? One woman lived this reality, not as a prisoner, but as a pioneer of the soul. Her name was Emily Dickinson, and she taught us that the quietest life can have the loudest heart. In the small New England town of Amherst, a house on Main Street held a secret. Inside lived a woman who, to her neighbors, was a phantom, an eccentric recluse in white who lowered gingerbread to children from her window. But Emily Dickinson wasn't hiding from the world. She was creating one. Imagine, it's 1862. America is torn apart by war. The world is chaos. But for Emily, the greatest battles were fought within. In this single year, at her small desk, she wrote 366 poems, a poem a day, each a spark in the dark, a telegram from the frontier of her soul. She sent letters to a world not yet ready to read them, bundling nearly 1,800 poems into hand-sewn booklets she called fascicles and tucking them away. Why? This wasn't an accident. It was a choice, a radical declaration of independence. Her reclusion wasn't an escape. It was a fortress where her true self could thrive, unjudged and untamed. From within that fortress, she teaches us our first lesson. We live in an age of performance. We measure our worth in shares and our success in visibility, terrified of being unseen. Emily chose the opposite. She had trusted confidence, but she never chased publication. When an editor advised her to change her raw, untamed style, she turned away from the world to protect it. She knew a profound truth. Creation for an audience can be a performance, but creation for its own sake is a conversation with the soul. She wasn't writing for 19th century critics. She was writing for you, for us, an audience she would never meet. This is a revolutionary idea today. What would you create if no one was watching? Emily challenges us to find our own unseen audience. Find the work you would do even if you were the only person in the universe to see it. By choosing a small life, Emily didn't limit her world. She magnified it. She found the infinite in the infinitesimal. Her poems are filled with tiny details, a fly buzzing, a snake in the grass, the slant of late afternoon light. For most of us, this is background noise. For Emily, these were doorways to the divine. She observed with the precision of a scientist and the soul of a mystic. She proved you don't need to climb Everest to experience awe. Awe is right here. Her genius was her attention. She teaches us that a rich life isn't about the breadth of our experiences, but the depth of our perception. We wait for big moments, forgetting that life is what happens in between. Life is the taste of morning coffee, the way light hits the floor. Emily's lesson is an invitation to slow down, to put down the phone and just look. The universe isn't just in the stars, it's in a grain of sand. Why do you think she chose to live this way? Was it a deliberate artistic strategy, a social anxiety, or something else entirely? Let me know your favorite theory in the comments below. We want our heroes to have all the answers. But Emily Dickinson was not a prophet of certainty. She was a poet of the question mark. Raised in a devoutly religious community, she was surrounded by absolute confidence and faith. Emily couldn't find it. She wrestled with doubt her entire life. She never joined the church, a scandalous decision for her time. Her poems are not hymns of faith, but raw dialogues with a silent God. She questions, she rages, she yearns. She understood that faith isn't the absence of doubt, but the courage to live with it. Her final lesson is her most modern. The truest path to wisdom is not through blind belief, but through brave uncertainty. In our world of rigid ideologies, Emily's voice is a call for intellectual humility. She gives us permission to say, I don't know. She shows us that wrestling with our doubts is not a weakness, but a sign of a deep and living soul, a life in a single room, a universe in a handful of poems. Emily Dickinson died in almost complete anonymity. When her sister discovered the locked chest, full of her work, the world received a gift it never knew it was waiting for. She reminds us that a meaningful life isn't measured in accolades or followers. It's measured in the depth of our feeling, the sharpness of our attention, and the courage of our questions. She chose not a smaller path, but a deeper one. She teaches us that freedom isn't about going anywhere you want, but about being fully present where you are. The grandest adventure is the journey inward. As she herself wrote, that it will never come again is what makes life so sweet. If this story of defiant creativity resonated with you, you'll love our deep dive into the Stoic philosophy of Marcus Aurelius. Click the video on the screen now to watch it, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss another journey into the minds that shaped our world.